to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is our April meeting, so it's our reorganizational meeting. So I get to start us off by looking for nominations for our board president.
I'll move that we retain Barb as president.
I hear Barb is nominated. Do I have a second?
You have to ask for nominations 3 times.
Yep.
All right, I will ask for nominations for the second time for board president. I will ask nominations for the third time for board president. I hear none. All right, can I get a second for Barb to be nominated as president?
I'll second that.
Moved by Chris Bennett. We will do roll call vote or do we do it unanimous?
You can ask for a motion to close nomination and cast the unanimous ballot.
I will ask for a motion to close nominations for board president.
Also move.
I'll second that.
And Pat? All in favor for Barb Rogers as board president?
Aye.
Opposed? Hear none. Carries 7-0.
All
Passes
right.
back to you, Barb.
For what then?
Yes.
All right, thank you for continuing to have confidence in my leadership. I will do my best to continue to earn your trust in this position. We are now going to be looking to have a nomination for vice president. So can I have a nomination for vice president?
Barb, I'd like to nominate Ann as vice president of the school board.
Okay, I have a nomination for Ann. I would like, again, to ask a second time, any nominations for vice president? And a third time. Any nominations for vice president? We have a nomination for Ann Schmitz to be vice president. Can I have a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot?
I so move.
Motion made by Chris,
Second.
second by Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Ann. Now we will ask for nominations for board clerk.
I'd like to nominate, I gotta be careful now, we got 2 Chris's. Chris Schley for clerk.
All right, we have a nomination for Chris Schley. I'll ask again, any nominations for board clerk? And finally, any nominations for board clerk? Okay, we have a nomination for Chris Schley. Can I have can I have a motion to close nominations and cast the unanimous ballot?
Also move.
Motion made by Ann, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Lonnie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Chris. And finally, I need a nomination for board treasurer.
Nominate Pat.
Okay, I have a nomination for Pat Coleman for treasurer. Again, nominations for board treasurer. And finally, nominations for board treasurer. All right, I have a nomination for Pat Coleman for board treasurer. Can I have a motion to close the nominations and cast the unanimous ballot?
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Pat. All right, the next, let's see, I guess it is. I am the acting secretary for the moment, so all members are present. And now we will move to board appointments. first appointment is board correspondent. And Pat, you do such a wonderful job. I'm hoping you are willing to continue that role.
I'll take it.
All right. This next one, the CISA 7 Board of Control representative, who serves as a delegate to the CISA convention. I would like to open it up to see if there are any volunteers for that. We have a lot of new members, and we have a lot of people with other commitments. So I would like to open it up to see if somebody would like to volunteer.
Barb, you wanna explain, maybe just explain a little bit what it all entails?
Mhm.
I can.
I thought you were gonna,
oh, I
I
can,
thought you said, do you want me
no,
to?
No, I thought,
Sure.
Yes, please do so, Pat.
you meet, is it the second Wednesday?
And once
And
a
right
month.
now, from what I understand, and Mick was over today trying to explain this to me, your seat on the Board of Control is by school. And we really don't want to lose that seat. If somebody will do this. I think that if you miss a meeting or two, I don't think it's a big deal. And you can always, Zoom in if you're not gonna be around. But if we don't have someone that is willing to do this, then we have to notify them and say that we're giving up Algoma's seat on the Board of Control. So it would be nice if we didn't have to give that up.
Mhm. It entails once a month meeting.
Once a month meeting, the second Wednesday, I believe, of the month. And like I said, if you can't make it, you can Zoom. She did that a number of times when we were, gone, so.
Okay. Anybody willing to step in at least initially to hold our seat?
Barb, I guess I will volunteer for that job.
All right. Okay, thank you. So Jennifer will be our CISA 7 Board of Control representative. Board Secretary, I would like to appoint Shelley Anderson to the Board Secretary position for the purpose of taking minutes at our monthly board and business meetings. And then committees. Expecting that the likelihood I would probably be elected president again. I want the board to know I put a lot of thought into these committee meetings, committee appointments, because we have a different complexion of the board now. We have a lot of new members, as well as experienced members. And we have some real important decisions coming up in this next year, year and a half, 2 years, in terms of the district and financial and building improvement and a lot of things, and keeping the public informed. So our committees are gonna be very important in this coming year. And I wanted to make sure also, when I made the assignments, that I made sure that there was representation from both our city and our unincorporated in each committee. Because I know that way everyone feels like they are involved. So I can pass these out. I want to take a couple, and then here, I'll just, and then I can announce them. And Shelley, I have one for you.
Okay.
So that you can give one to Jesse too. For finance, and the first name I mentioned will be the chair, Pat Coleman, Schmitz, and Rogers. Building, grounds, and transportation, Rogers, Fennendale, Schley. Public relations and marketing, Emert, Qualman, Benish. Safety, Schley, Benish, Fennendale. Policy and practices, Schmitz, Rogers, Emert. As I said, the first name listed is the chair of the committee and is responsible for submitting the meeting agenda in time for the posting requirements. And I've decided that legislative, charter school, and the curriculum committees can all be handled as ad hoc, and we will form those if required, because I don't know that the chair is called. Charter school is established now, so there isn't the likelihood. And if there are some big legislative things that we feel need to be brought into committee, then we can do that. And again, that same thing with curriculum. So, delegate and alternate for the WASBA convention. I know I already leaned on you for board correspondent, Pat, but do you expect that you'll be able to go to the convention this year? Think so?
You know, that's,
Well, we have alternates.
yes, you have alternates, so let's plan on it, but you
Okay.
know, the best laid plans sometimes don't always
Right,
come forth, so.
right. Okay, so if you'd be willing to be the delegate,
Okay.
I'm willing to be the alternate. All right, designating depositories. This will be something we need a motion for. And it's going to be to retain the depositories for school funds, Associated Bank, Nicolay Bank, Bank of Luxembourg, the American Deposit Management Company, and the local government investment pool. Can I have a motion to retain these depositories?
So move.
Motion made by Pat, do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lonnie. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I also, this is another one I will need a motion for, to approve Davis and Kuthal Service Corporation and the WASBA attorneys for school matters.
Move.
Motion made by Chris, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Chris the second.
Here's the second.
Any questions or discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Setting time and dates for board meetings. We have more people that have working schedules, so this is certainly an open point for discussion. The fourth Monday of the month, it looks like it works for every month except Christmas, which would be December. And then, Jesse, March, the Monday falls the Monday before Easter, so would that be a conflict with the March meeting?
That would be March 22nd, I'm looking at, looks like. Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry. March 25th.
And Easter is Easter is the following Sunday, so I didn't know if that's a week of vacation for the school?
We are, spring break is the week of Good Friday.
So that is that week, so that should also probably be bumped back to the
18th.
3rd. Okay, so both December and March will be on the 3rd Monday, and all the rest will be on the 4th Monday. And 5:30 has worked for our existing board members. How does 5:30 work for you, Lonnie, and you, Chris?
How's 5:30 work for you?
Not ideal, but 6 would be better.
That's fine. Can make it work.
6 would be better?
I mean, we can certainly accommodate, and we have certainly had it at 6 o'clock before. If that would work better for you, Lonnie?
Okay.
Is there any opposition from the board to changing it to 6?
No.
All right. So then it will move from 5:30 to 6, starting our next meeting in May. And board correspondent report, Pat.
Okay. The Assembly Education Committee is having a hearing for a couple of bills that they have. One is it's Bill 109, requiring 1/2 credit of personal financial literacy for high school graduation, which I don't think is a bad idea. I remember when we used to do those in the gym, reality checks.
Right.
I mean, these kids didn't know they didn't know how to do a checkbook, they had no idea what things cost. So, you know, and in this day and age where everything is electronic, I know my own kids, checkbook, I don't use a checkbook. Well, how do you know what you have in? Well, from what the bank says. Well, from 42 years of banking experience, I can tell you that banks do make mistakes.
Sure.
You know, so I think that would be a good one if that one passed. There's a bill relating to the posting of child abuse and neglect reporting hotline in school and buildings, so you have the hotline number, so kids could find it. And there's another one, for pupil applications to attend a private school participating in a parental choice program. What that means is they can opt in to use an automatic application, and then that would be considered then an annual application, so they didn't have to keep applying. And then, just a little heads up here, because it seems to be in the news. The U.S. Department of Education is proposing changes to its Title IX regulations on students, especially on student eligibility for athletic teams. And when Title IX was put into law 50 years ago, which doesn't seem that long, but it is, it was to opportunity so there was no sex discrimination, including in athletics. What they didn't foresee, and who did, was sexual discrimination, and now we've got gender. Well, to me, those are two separate things. So they're looking at that. The proposed rule would establish policies that violate the Title IX when they categorically ban transgender students from participating on sports teams. The proposed rule would provide schools with a framework for developing eligible criteria that protects students from being denied equal athletic opportunity while giving schools the flexibility to develop their own participation policies. So it sounds like there might be a little bit of a leeway in there. The proposed rule, you know, it was a long time Title IX stands that it was to protect equal opportunities for women and girls. Now you've got this whole transgender issue. Let's face it, a biological man is bigger, stronger, more muscular than women. So is the Title IX did it so the playing field would be fair with boys and girls, but now is it? Does this protect the future of girls' sports? It's going to be a difficult thing, because now you've got the issue now of Sun Prairie. I think it's Sun Prairie is going through it right now. What about the locker room? What about the shower rooms? They had a transgender female in the shower room with 4 freshman girls. So, you know, that's a whole different. And
Well, I think a lot of it is gonna be, as many things are, federal and state are going to legislate a lot of what our decisions are. And WIAA is gonna have to come up with some, some guidelines on that for all the schools too.
Well,
So,
the National Collegiate Athletic Association has adopted a sport-specific approach for eligibility criteria for male and female teams in the college level, but doesn't say what that was. But then you know, I don't know what it was or if they just did it, because now you've got the swimmer, Leah Thomas, and you look at the pictures, you know, clearly she's got a physical edge on the female, on the girls swimming team. So I don't know what the answer is gonna be. I don't know how this is gonna play out. But you see an awful lot of it on the news. So that's just a heads up that that's what's coming down the pipe. And I'm sure that every school in the nation is gonna be affected by this. So I would hate, I think my own kids playing sports, I'm thinking, okay, I wouldn't want to be that female catcher when a transgender female comes into third and slides into home, and you're the female catcher. That most likely would not end well for the catcher.
well, these are decisions that are gonna be
It's
tossed around a lot, I think.
It did say something in about districts making their own set of policies on this. It would give you some leeway to do your own policies.
I think we'd have to be very careful though, in terms of discrimination.
Well, and that's why I'm thinking that these guidelines that they come up for will help schools come up with those policies. So, that's my report.
Okay. Oh, one other thing. Did I see that, the library allotment for the schools is gonna be increased? I thought I saw something come through this year. I thought, did
Oh,
you
I
see
didn't see
that?
that.
Yes, I did.
So,
It didn't say how much, it just said.
Okay.
it's an
Yeah.
increase.
That came in today?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that's good news. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a per pupil increase, I think it's almost like, I think I saw the number, like $45 or something.
Recall seeing a number, but I know it was going up. So.
Yeah, which will be great, because obviously that money is designated for the librarians to use for books and technology and other kinds of things in the library, so, especially since we're getting our library here, going and all of that, that should be very helpful.
I need to.
Okay, and you said you have a
I
little
have
bit
the
of a
CISA, I was able to
report?
obtain the CISA report.
All right.
Mick said that the CISA was also working on updating the policies, so that's an endeavor for them. And they're looking at costs across the board. So that means some programs might increase, and some programs might not, might stay the same, or maybe even less, or some programs might not be there at all. And then she said that, there were 8 applications for, they had a WASBA for John Ashley's position, and they've got that narrowed down to 3 now. So hopefully that they get someone who was as good as he was.
He'll
So-
be missed.
Yes,
Well, like you say, hopefully they'll get somebody good.
there we go, that's it.
Okay. All right, student representative report, Max.
This recently, the DI team of our school is going to globals, or no, excuse me, nationals, which I think is being held, I'm not exactly sure, it might be in Tennessee because that's what it usually was, but I could be wrong.
I don't think it's in Knoxville this year.
Yeah, I don't think
I really
it is.
don't.
It's been a while, so.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to Kansas, is that?
Yeah, we have to approve Kansas.
Is it, is it I can't.
That's exciting.
For the Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA, a couple of students went to like a conference, and Tegan Lucky actually got, I think, 4th place out of the state. So that's really, or, no, it might have actually been I don't know if it was state or nationals, but that's really cool. I think she was doing nursing, so she got 4th out of nursing, because each student selects kind of like a field they want to go into. So her being 4th is really exciting for the school. Spring sports are going on. I think track is up and running. The grade points for the academic, leadership, or can never remember the words, but it's like the letters that you put on letterman jackets. Those are handed out and completed.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Max? Thank you. I don't have any misconceptions or rumors. Did anyone sign in, Shelley, to speak? Okay. One is to just assign attendance, and the other is to speak. All right. Announcements. Like to welcome our 2 new board members, Chris Benish and Lonnie Fennendale. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Administration reports. Move right into that.
All right. So this month is a little different than what we have been doing the last couple months. I just did a budget summary for this month and didn't do any educational component to what we've been doing. So You'll see at your spot was a budget summary for the month. And we'll go through the budget summary, I want to update where we're at with our facility study, talk a little bit about the Rural Virtual Academy, or RVA. We'll give an update to childcare and to the policy manual, and then talk a little bit about extending the school year due to snow days, So again, with our April budget summary, we're looking at a couple different accounts. Account 10, 27, 50, and 80 are the ones that we're focusing on this month. Remember, when you see a negative next to the ones that are listed as R, which stands for revenue, that actually counts as positive. It's backwards, I know, so. So our general fund operating, or Fund 10, we have collected about 72% of our expected revenue. We've spent about 52% of our expenditures so far. You can see these numbers are going up, changing from what they were last month. For Fund 27, special education, we've collected about 24% of our total revenue and have spent about 63 of our projected expenditures, so. A lot of our special ed funds come at the end of the school year. For Fund 50, which is food service, we've collected about 61% of our revenue and have spent about 67 of our expected expenditures. And then lastly, for Fund 80, which is our community service, we have collected 95% of our revenues and have spent about 72% of our projected expenditures. From a budget standpoint, I feel like we're on track to where we have been in years past. There will be some money trickling in through grants, through the state, through DPI, that we will be expecting in the next about 14 days that will increase our revenue. So, any questions about the budget? Okay. I'm gonna jump into our facility study. So last week on April 17th, we had a 12-member facility planning committee that met. We looked at our needs and wants. This committee was made up of board members, teachers, administration, and it was led by McKinstry and Balin Builders, who we have agreed to go with for our facility plan study. Just real broad, we looked at kind of just again what the district's needs and wants are across all of our facilities with our buildings, and outside, as well as athletics, parking lots, those types of things. So the next step is to bring these discussion items back and do a deeper dive into what the costs and implementations are gonna be on student learning. So no decisions were made, it was just more of a conversation at this point, and we hope to have the committee meet again here in the future, and then we'll kind of go deeper with it. The timeline is that a facility study will be finalized at the end of June and presented to the full board at the July 24th meeting. So, Barb and Chris, I know you two were present. Do you want to add anything from your standpoint?
I think it was a good discussion. You know, like you said, it was very broad, you know, sort of like incorporating all the things that are being pointed out that we really need to do in terms of our buildings and upkeep and updating. And then broadening into, you know, wouldn't it be nice if, you know, if we could do some things as well. So I think, you know, getting some dollar amounts attached to things will help the group. Obviously, one of the big commitments of this board, and we even discussed that in this group, is that whatever we do, the intent is not to increase taxes for the community. They've been hit enough with a lot of different things lately, so that's always going to be at the forefront of all the decisions made. And when the dollar amounts come in, we'll have to see what can be afforded and what kinds of wants can be implemented. But yeah, I look forward to the process, and yeah.
one of the first things we did as a committee was to establish what our guiding principles were. And that really is gonna drive the work that we do. And it was very clear that the committee felt that community support, community involvement, community, supporting our community with whatever decisions are made was vital. And so that's one of the pieces that we're looking at. The other one is really what impact is decisions that are gonna be made on students and how is it gonna implement them in a positive way with their learning, so. Alright, we'll move on to our Rural Virtual Academy, or RVA agreement. So included in your board packet is a copy of the RVA agreement. If you remember, a couple years ago, the district had been part of RVA. For those that don't know what RVA is, it's a virtual online learning platform, or a school district basically. It's actually housed part of the Medford School District. They're their fiscal agent for it. So we're looking at to re-enter into the RVA agreement with them. And what this will allow us to do is count any students that are currently attending or will be attending RVA as Algoma students in our membership count. And then as a district, we are charged a certain amount, which is, as you can see, $2,250 less than what DPI calculates the per pupil amount as each year. So in a way that this is a way for the district to retain our students. They will graduate with an Algoma School District diploma. And the most important thing that we have found this year is these kids will be eligible to participate in any extracurricular activities that the district currently offers. Right now, any students are not able to participate in our sports or DI or One Act, anything like that, so.
Because they're not technically our
Correct.
Algoma High School
They're
students.
considered a Medford School District student,
Yep,
actually.
okay.
And how many do we have enrolled in this right now?
We have 9 students right now. There's a couple students that are seniors this year that will be graduating. So this again is for next year that we're looking at, so they'll get to graduate, but they'll have a Medford diploma, actually. And the great thing about this, the last thing we have on here is all of our students are actually eligible to take any online courses that RVA offers that we may not be able to provide here. So a great example, if a kid wants to take a Chinese language class, they're able to do that online, whereas we wouldn't be able to provide a staff member for a class of 1 or 2 students, so. So it provides more options to our students.
So in the contract, Jesse, on page 5, where it's talking about District Connect, access fee, we have an X by no access, and we didn't check the yes or no. I guess I'm just a little confused about that part of the contract. And the Algoma School District will be provided access to all the courses available through the e-network, which is what you just said.
So that would be an option, yes.
So that will be a yes,
Yep.
okay.
What you have in front of you is just a blank contract.
Right.
This again is something for the board to vote on tonight.
Right.
And so we would sign and fill this out then.
Yeah, okay, and then it's based on if we take advantage of a lot of their courses and they're billed at that point, okay, that makes sense.
All right, childcare updates. So with the help of Katie Horn, we have been moving along with our new childcare center. So the district again approved last meeting the purchase of Wings of Eagles. We are gonna be signing the title for purchase on April 26th, so this Wednesday at noon. The name for the childcare is going to be Algoma School District Pack of Pups Childcare. For short, we're gonna call it Pack of Pups. But it was important to put the Algoma School District as part of the name, so community members know that it's being operated and run by the school district. We anticipate doors opening on May 1st, so next Monday. We're gonna welcome the kids at 5:30 in the morning when we open up. The policy manual, you received a draft of that in your board packet. The updated copy should be at your place. It's hot off the press. Katie's been working on this all day. And so it is final, updated, and it will be up for a board vote for later tonight, so. Because we are operating the childcare under the school district, or a group childcare is considered by the state, technically all operations are run or overseen by the Board of Education. So that's why we need to adopt a policy manual. So this will be shared with all the families then that enroll. It'll be made to the public to view it, so. We are anticipating on getting our license. I talked to them today, so we'll have it by the end of this week. Because now officially Wings is closed. They closed their doors last Friday, was their last day with students, so now we can obtain our license. Basically, it kind of just transfers over to us. We're working on applying for the Wisconsin Shares Program, which would allow families based on their income levels to receive subsidies or aid for childcare. That's really important for many of our families, so we hope to get that up and running here. Families are currently enrolling. We have room up to 45 children to attend, so we're getting enrollment forms in every day. Our facility crew from the district will begin painting on Wednesday at noon. We're gonna be waiting in the parking lot at noon to get in. And then we have new flooring being installed on the 27th and 28th, for Thursday and Friday. Our food service department is working on preparing meals. We'll have breakfast, 2 snacks, and a lunch. And that'll be prepared every day up here at the middle school, high school, and then transported down to Pack of Pups for the day prior, so.
And how are we transporting that? How are we doing that?
Just with our district vehicles, either our facilities crew or we'll have a food service worker drive it over,
Okay.
so. We do a lot of that already with transporting food from up here down to the elementary school, so.
When you say prep, like it's cooked, like Meals on Wheels, they
All gonna be prepared, cooked here, and then brought down, put in individual containers, basically. Mhm.
Okay.
What are the differences between the draft and this new policy?
I'm gonna ask Katie to answer that. She's the one that's been working on this.
There's a lot of employment stuff that I took out since they'll be employees of the school district. They
Nothing
can-
drastic,
No,
okay.
it's mostly just, the employee stuff was a few pages long. And since they'll be employees of the school district, they'll follow the employee handbook for the district. So I didn't think we needed to repeat it and put it in the policy manual as well. So that's most of it, is just the employment stuff. I had to fill in some phone numbers here and there, but.
I had noticed in some of it, it was talking about I will do this or we will do that, and did you change some of those?
No, but I can go back and.
Because I think that was probably, I actually highlighted every one of them if you want my copy.
Actually.
And then I'm assuming you took out the emergency lighting for night care, because we're not gonna be giving night care. Yeah, I mean, I think you probably took care of almost everything. The only thing that maybe I'll ask, and you might know if you changed it, so that I don't have to scrutinize this, is under health-related forms later in the packet on page, it was 15 of the old packet anyway. It says children will need to be properly immunized and that record will need to be on file within 30 days of the first day of attendance. But in the very first part, it talks about within 15 days after the child's first attendance. So I don't know which one you want it to be. But other than that, it was just little picky little wording kinds of things. And obviously places where you are gonna have to be filling in the blank. So, but I can share with you. Yes, but, yeah, a lot of work.
The off-premise pool.
It's for the beach,
Oh,
cause it said stuff about pools and then the beach, so.
okay.
Is there somewhere in there vacation days for like the families, the kids? So, for instance, when we take care of kids, you get 5 days. Is there, I just thought of it before, but I didn't see that in there unless I missed it.
There's nothing in there about that, but they pay per day that they're there, so it's not.
Okay, so
They have to
okay.
pay to hold their spot or anything like that, that's just,
Okay,
They pay it whenever.
okay.
Speaking of payment, in the new copy on page 19, all of the fees say up to 10 hours
Per day.
per day.
I can add that in there.
Okay, yeah, I think a little more clarity. Thank you.
And that is a state rule, that's not a, yeah.
Two things, the immunization, I know that there are, I wanna use the word opt-out, but that's not the word, but that's not. Waivers for this, I'm assuming would be? Okay, and then the other question I have is on page 7. Extra fee assessed for late pickup, after 5:30, a charge of 5 minutes. $5 a minute
That's a
will be
state-
added.
That's a state rule.
Is that a state rule? Okay, because I think of the parents, like, I worked in Sturgeon Bay, sometimes it took me longer to get across the bridge than to get home.
Yeah,
Or if the weather is bad, I hate to have some
I
parent,
think it was $10 a
Rushing.
minute.
Hmm?
I think it was $10 a minute before we purchased.
was it?
Because
They had it at 5.
Nick was talking.
So there-
Are you
there's
sure it
no-
was only 5?
That's what Pastor Taylor told us.
Oh, okay.
You're saying there's no leeway on that, that's a state,
It's a state rule.
okay, that's all I need to know.
Because we close at 5:30. So legally, we're not supposed to provide care after 5:30.
Yeah, and I understand the flip side too, but then, you figure sometimes things happen and, if somebody's got, 10 minutes, that's $50. Now, in today's inflation, that could be
It'll be
Not making your-
circumstantial.
mortgage
think this is
payment
a
or,
Habitual offender type
Correct.
deal is what, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, because a staff person, somebody has to stay with the child. So,
Any other questions about the policy manual? Okay. Last thing I have is to talk about the extended school year due to our lovely winter we've had this year. So I just want to briefly just touch on a couple things and explain the why behind this. So Wisconsin DPI requires each school district to meet the following instructional hours for each grade level. So grades 5K or kindergarten through 6th grade, they have to be in session 1,050 hours per school year. Grade 7 through 12 is 1,137 hours per school year. You can see the days that we've listed are listed here that we were closed or closed early or had a late start. December 15th, we had a 2-hour delay. January 19th, no school. February 23rd, no school. 90-minute early release on the 27th, and March 13th, no school because of snow. So in the 2022-23 school calendar, we had 1,156 hours of instruction, and that caused the district to be short about 6 hours if you subtract the time that we were out. So that is causing us to make Tuesday, May 30th to be our last student day, and then the staff work days are being pushed to May 31st and June 1st. So I know it's not ideal to come back after a holiday weekend on a Tuesday, but again, I don't make the rules on how many hours and minutes we have to be in session, so. This is an abnormal year with just how many snow days. And
many districts are in that situation in terms of having to add a day on.
And we had looked at doing, extending the school day to add minutes to each day. However, we were so close to the end of the year and with spring athletics, it just was not reasonable to be able to do that, so.
Well, and we have a pretty early finish date compared to a lot of other districts as well, so.
We do. That is all I have.
Questions or comments for Jessie? All right, well, keep moving. Elementary principals report. Katie?
All right, I'll start with my usual bright spot update for the elementary school. April has been very, very busy, especially with spring break in there. The PTS wrapped up their March into No Sale Madness calendar fundraiser. They raised just over $10,000 from that fundraiser. So all the proceeds to that are going to purchase a Gaga ball pit for the elementary school. And then they do want to begin looking at options for some solid, solid surface, like that rubber surfacing for the playground, to access some of our more accessible playground equipment first and then kind of building off from there. So it's a work in progress. They also kicked off their meat sale fundraiser as well this month. So
Can you tell me what that what
Gaga.
what did you
It's
say?
like a big, it's not even a hexagon, it's like a big shape, and all the kids get inside, and there's a whole bunch of rules, they don't actually know all the rules. But they basically hit the ball with their hand, and it's just an outdoor game
Okay.
that's kind of fun for them to play.
There's one
So-
at Perry Field if you.
Yes, there's
Oh,
one at Perry Field,
okay.
that is correct.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a big deal. So again, we appreciate all of the support of the PTS and just helping to bring some of those things to our school. They've always been very supportive and have gotten more and more creative with how they are supporting us recently, so thank you to them. On Friday, the National Children's Theater came and did a short performance called The Energy Endgame for our students. They did 2 performances in the afternoon, but that's always a good time. That is a program that is free of charge for our schools, so it's just something annual that we look forward to every year. We are also looking forward to this week, Friday. We have our first ever bird celebration day. So thanks to Penny Lemberger for coordinating all of this for our students. But we start the day with a presentation and assembly in the auditorium. That presentation is being sponsored by the Bird City Algoma Committee. And then after that, Penny has coordinated for ABA students to lead our students through a bunch of different learning stations where they can do crafts and other activities related to some of the birds they're gonna see. And then they're also, there's a rotating schedule for the students to get up close and personal with some of the birds that they'll be seeing as part of the assembly as well. So it's kind of scheduled throughout the entire day. The ABA students will be here for the majority of the day. And it's just something that we're definitely really looking forward to. So thank you to Penny for all of her work with that, and I can't wait to see what the ABA students have come up with. I heard it's going to be a lot of fun. My next item, this past Tuesday, the 5th and 6th grade students, along with a bunch of teachers, took a field trip to Madison. Nita Cruz kind of took the lead on this and coordinated it for us. But a special shout out goes also to Chuck and Candy Brettel. We kind of were late in the scheduling process. Schools are already scheduling tours at the Capitol for next spring, next April and May. So we were not able to get a tour time at the Capitol, but Candy and Chuck reached out to Joel Kitchens, and so he and his staff led our students through a special tour of the Capitol. So that was really nice. And then we also got to eat lunch in one of the rooms at the Capitol. So I think it worked out even better than expected. And then we also visited the Veterans Museum, and then we went to the Henry Vilas Zoo. So both Jesse and myself, we also attended that. The weather was perfect. We couldn't have asked for anything better. It was a nice little sunny day in between all of the rain and the snow the rest of the week, but it was a really good time. So we also had our buses sponsored by the PTS. So we took 2 coach buses down to Madison, and they sponsored both of those for us. And then looking ahead to next year, we're gonna make it an annual thing for the 5th grade class only. So just for planning purposes, that'll be something to look forward to. And then I just wanted to get the word out that registration did go out last week, Monday, for summer school 2023. Families can register now until May 12th, so we are closing registration May 12th. Summer school will run June 5th through the 23rd, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 12. It'll be at the elementary school. And then lunch is being provided by the YMCA as it has in the past. So if you know of anyone that would like to sign up for that, please do. That's all for me.
Questions? All right, thank you, Katie. We'll keep moving. Middle school, high school principals report. Dave?
All right, just want to point out that we're at the point of the year now where we're completing some teacher evaluation processes. And I want to highlight some of the steps that go into that. A lot of the teachers have completed now 1 or 2 professional development goals, one of which I picked for them, one of which they picked on their own. And in addition to that, I have been able to get out to all the classrooms, observe several times. If they were a probationary teacher, it was at least 3 or 4 times. Everybody else got 1 or 2 observations done. So after taking all those little snapshots, we usually meet, discuss what was seen in those little snapshots. They're able to explain what I'm seeing, because sometimes what I see is really out of context, depending on what has become before it and what has come after it. So now that that's all been done, the staff were given a form to reflect on state standards that are provided for teachers. They were able to select a few of the standards that they wished to reflect on. They've reflected on how they performed in those particular standards. Then I'm able to take the things that I observed and the evidence that they provide, called artifacts at times, and reflect or provide some narrative back for them. We then meet and we discuss to see if there are any things that I missed, or make sure that we're in agreement with some of the information that was provided in their evaluation forms. So I have not completed every single teacher, but I'm a good chunk done. And I just want to point out that one of the things that is just fascinating to me is how well our teachers meet our students' individual needs. I mean, it is really interesting. There's some really great examples of work that they do through assessment, finding out that the student performs at a particular level, struggles with a particular thing, or excels at a particular thing, and then how they work to meet that particular student's needs to help them progress. It's pretty, it's been really impressive to me as a first-year principal to see that. Then the next thing is also teachers doing a great job of getting students out of the building and out into the community. And I just wanted to point out that field trips are way up. I think the weather, supposedly not snowing, helps. It'd be nicer if it was a little nicer, but you know, you get what you get. So we've had students out to banks, art galleries, competitions at local colleges. There was an observation done at a Montessori school. Agriculture career days at the Pagel Farm was a big event for the middle schoolers, and really just a lot of other destinations. So I'm pleased that the teachers are finding ways to get their students in different learning situations, great learning opportunities, and connect them to their community and get them out of the cinder block walls here, so.
Yeah, excellent. Questions for Dave? All right, we'll keep going. Pathfinder AVA report, Kate.
Start with Pathfinder. We have 4 students who have completed their credits early for graduation so far this year, which is really great. We have 2 more who are potentially going to be finishing up to graduate early. So it's just really a fun, exciting time at the end of the year. We have a kind of like a honor wall at Pathfinder that started when we first opened it. And once the kids are done with their credits, they get to paint their hand and slap it on the wall. So it's always really fun to be able to go down there, and it's kind of their ticket out the door. So I was down there last week for a kiddo that we've had since he was in 6th grade. So it's really cool to see. Lexi's been getting them out a ton this semester, which is great. They went to Camp U last week to work on outdoor living skills, so they had to create a fire from scratch. And then in the afternoon, they just did a bunch of team bonding, team building things, so it was really fun for them, because a lot of them didn't get to go to Camp U with their 6th grade class, so it was a great day for them. AVA, animal projects, or just projects in general, so we've had a group of 3 students who have been doing a chicken project all year. If you didn't know, we have chickens out back that have finally started to lay eggs, but they've been doing a ton of different studying the life cycle, studying the eggs. So now we have quails, ducks, and chickens all incubating in AVA, which has been really fun because we candle them pretty much every day, so you kind of get to see how they grow from day to day to day. So starting this weekend, the quails should hatch, and then next weekend-ish, the chickens and ducks should start hatching, so that's been really fun. AVA has partnered with the bass fishing team to try and spawn their own suckers. So that has been a really hilarious learning experience. They put a bunch of eggs in this tank, and we came back the next day. Penny had put an aerator in it, and it was just disgusting. There was bubbles and just nastiness everywhere seeping down the side. The whole aquaponics area absolutely reeked when you opened the door. So it's been a really great learning experience for the kids, but Just some funny feeling forward moments for that. I wanted to highlight one of the projects. So Barclay Van Lannen, who was a 7th grader, took on a project where she wanted to have a spring celebration, doing all projects spring, and she invited the Sunshine House from Sturgeon Bay. We had a 2nd grade classroom, Mrs. Robinson's class, and our abilities crew come in last Thursday, and she just had, I don't even know, like 8 or 10 different stations set up of different spring activities they could do. And then she had jobs for each kid in AVA, so they all ran their own station. So they had egg candling, cookie decorating, we had baby goats here, they made sun catchers, they made their own soap. There's just a whole bunch of different stuff. But it was just so cool bringing both the 2nd graders in and the adults from the Sunshine House to work on things together and see them interact with our students. It was really funny because when the head lady from Sunshine House walked in, Berkeley, you know, she's super tiny, met him at the door and she's like, "You're Berkeley? Like, you're who set all this up?" And she's like, "Yeah." So it was just a really, really, really cool experience, watching everybody interact, and they came out with some really cool art and things to bring home. Just some dates. Our ABA project showcase will be May 17th from 4 to 6 for the community to come in and see all the projects the kids have been working on, 2nd semester.
That's like an open house?
Yep, that's our open house. We just kind of renamed it to their project showcase. They are going on a camping trip overnight at High Cliff State Park from May 8th into the 9th. They're going to be tenting, so it might be a little chilly, but it'll be really fun for them, I think. And then tomorrow we have an Olympic boxer, Cam Awesome, coming in as a guest speaker. He'll be talking about gratitude, positivity, acceptance, and resilience. So we invited the kids from Pathfinder and Beta to join us as well for the presentation.
I think it's really important for us to try and advertise, I guess, this May 17th for the 6 p.m. open house, or,
Yeah, there's a student in charge of that, so.
because I think, again, Algoma Venture Academy, and I'm falling into AVA all the time too. We promised we wouldn't be using things. It's easy to get into that, but the Algoma Venture Academy is still, I think, not quite really known, you know, in terms of what do they do in this charter school. There is nothing like going to one of the open houses to really get an idea, and talk with the students and see what they're working on, and, yeah, it's, well, good. I'm glad you're gonna be doing some
We
promotion.
also got bees this weekend. Our bees came, so there's a beehive out in the garden.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay, any questions for Katie? Well, moving on, special ed wellness report, Marie.
I don't know if I can top that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting stuff. So for special education, we are in the works of planning for next year, like everyone else. Knowing that we'll most likely have 3 speech language pathologists and the addition of the social worker position, we were able to reallocate our caseloads to move forward with 10 special ed teachers instead of the current 11 that we have. We were able to just move numbers around that would be manageable. So with that being said, that would be moving one of our special ed positions from the elementary up to the middle school, high school. So we are in the works of figuring out who's gonna be where, who's gonna be in what rooms, and how we can best serve our students. Speaking of the social work position, we held our first round of interviews on Friday, and the team is in the process of determining next steps. We had 3 interviews, and they were great. And then lastly, as a wellness committee, one of our goals is to provide just a variety of different opportunities for our staff, one being financial wellness. One of the team members connected with a former Algoma alumnus, Logan Rankin, not the current employee Logan Rankin, because there's 2. But he owns a business called Rankin Enterprises, and he's gonna come in and do a lunch and learn for our staff on our first staff day on May 31st. That's about it.
Policy and Practice Committee met again, and what did we reviewed like 52 policies, I think. We will be asking for approval in our action for our new policies, the revised, and I have, in your packet, you got the ones where we felt the revisions were substantial in terms of content. We do not copy the revisions where there is no content change. I have those here. I'll just briefly go through those. 6108 was simply changing the wording from business manager to district administrator. 6120, safety deposit box, was just changing the authorization in terms of who would be able to get into it.
Is that on dual control, safety deposit box?
It's at the bank.
Yeah, I know it's at the bank, but is it on dual control? You have to have two people signed to get in?
I would expect the bank would have a policy on that.
Is not under direct.
They wouldn't have a policy, but do we have, should we
Should
have a
be.
policy on that? There should be, and I don't even know, it must be you.
Correct.
I don't know who
So,
the other person is.
board treasurer,
Oh,
the
me.
district administrator, board clerk, are all have access to it.
Okay, so we should have two signatures to get in there.
Would we be able to?
You can notify the bank and tell them that,
That we would like to do that?
Mhm.
Sure.
yes.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Not that we don't trust everybody, but
No,
just to, you know,
always a better policy.
yes.
So Jesse, will you make a point of contacting them?
Yes, I will.
Okay. 6150, tuition income, that was again just changed from business manager to business office in terms of who is actually doing the work. Return checks was just renamed. It used to be bad check. Fiscal planning was just changed again to the district administrator, which is how we handle it here. Purchasing cards also, the wording was just changed to district administrator. Local purchasing, changed to district administrator. 6470, payment of invoices, used to be payment of claims. Otherwise, the policy did not change. 6670, trust and agency funds was again changed to the district administrator. Fair Labor Standard Act changed to district administrator. And then 7217 regarding weapons was just revised to match the other policies which we've already approved. So there was nothing new. So those were the ones we did not copy for your review in the packets. Was there any questions on any of the policies that were in your packets?
Are you getting through them?
We're doing a chunk at a time.
We've been at this forever.
It's a lot of policies.
I-
Yeah, we spend like 3 hours.
Oh, I know you do. I mean,
Going
how,
through.
I guess I should ask, how,
We were
are you
behind.
halfway through? Are you at 3/4? Are you 2/3?
I think we're three
I'd guess
quarters
we've
maybe.
got about 150 left.
Yeah, and we're,
150 policies.
and we're going through them at a rate of like 50 to 60 each, each time.
So there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, there
It's-
is, except that Neola then said that they are coming out with some new revisions of,
Yeah, but
so-
it won't be backed up like.
no, we won't be backed up.
Yes, okay.
Yes, but yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for those of us who, and we got mixed to do the last
Yes,
batch
you
before we
utilized
let
as much
her
as you
go.
could, yep.
Yes, we did. Board of Canvassers met April 11th, 2023, meeting. Chris?
All right, we reviewed the inspector statements for each voting entity, reviewed certification of each voting entity, added ballot counts for each voting entity. No irregularities were found, all votes were verified and reviewed. Total votes were Lonnie Finnendale, 1,186, Chris Benish, 1,092. We had several write-ins, Joanne Wiesner with 3, Lori Nellis 1, Eric Nell 1, We had 3 that were blank, no name listed. Sarah Robertson, 2. George Reynolds, 1. Taya Reynolds, 1. Jody Perrins, 1. Star Salem, 1. Joe Wees, 1. Kenneth Taylor, 1. Randy Ebert, 1. Jeremy Paschak, 3. Kimberly McClure, 3. Mary Bowman, 1. Lucinda Massey, 2. Chad Nellis, 1. Larry Miller, 1. And Mick Sagrillo, 1.
Yeah, that's the most write-ins I remember ever seeing.
That's what I understand.
All right. And then we had 2 special school board meetings, April 11th and April 17th, where the board met to discuss wage increases for the staff as well as administration. Current COVID statistics, Jesse?
0.
0. That's the number I like. Other specific items for discussion, staff appreciation. We had talked about serving lunch to the staff on May 9th. That's still what we're gonna go with. For Chris and Lonnie's information, this started years and years ago, where the board was trying to figure out a way to do some teacher appreciation. And it used to be that we actually were out there with grills, and we were trying to grill the food ourselves, and then we would serve it to everybody. But it has changed, and probably nobody's gonna argue with, I think we're having Moe's, is that who we're having?
Mm-hmm.
Cater in some meals, but what we'd want is hopefully at least 2 board members at each school during that time that can be helping with the serving and just greeting and thanking our teachers for the hard work that they do. But it's just something that we like to do every year, and I think the teachers do enjoy it, the feedback that I get.
And realizing it's during the day, and, we do have some board members that actually have jobs,
Right.
They're not all lucky like us and retired, so,
But
We
we've
have
been
times.
Huh? Yes, so,
Between 11 and 1.
and 11, and it's 11 until 1 at the elementary school, and at the high school, it isn't that large of a gap, is it? Is it 12 to 1, or is it 11 to 1?
It was 11:38 to 1:05.
Okay, 11:38 to 1:05. So,
Around there.
Give or take.
okay.
So since that's the day that the AVA is gonna be on a camping trip, are we gonna appreciate our AVA teachers in a different way or
Mm.
later?
Well, yeah, since it is a scheduled thing, we wouldn't want them to miss out unless, is there another day that would work? Is that,
It's already set with Moe's.
okay, so then we'll just have to figure out another way to appreciate it.
Barb, do you wanna find out who's gonna be at which school?
Yeah, does, first of all, who is able to be available during the day that week? You are, Chris, are you?
I no longer am.
Okay, are you able during the day?
Yeah, I am.
You, okay. Lonnie, you're hoping not? Okay.
I can,
Can you?
yes,
Okay, do you have a preference, high school or grade school?
doesn't matter.
Well, you're a new board member, why don't you pick?
I'll do the elementary school.
Okay, who would like to do the elementary school with you?
I can,
All right,
do you mind?
No.
and then Pat and Jennifer and, whatever, I can just see which one is, okay.
We did the high school ones before.
Yep.
And for the grade school, one of them, you and I, TA team, so, yeah, okay.
And of course, what we want to make sure is that the teachers are aware that it is happening so that they can take advantage of it.
Yes.
Because we've had
Yes.
some miscommunications in the past.
Yeah.
And of course, the pandemic and all that, threw everything off too, those years, how everything got crazy, so, okay. Updated job descriptions. Did you want to talk
Yeah,
about those?
so in your board packet are 3 updated job descriptions. The first is a 4K kindergarten paraprofessional. This is a new job description, I should say. We are looking at approving for the hire of a paraprofessional or teacher's aide that would support all of our 4K and kindergarten teachers. So one position to support. And the purpose of this position would be to help with the transitions that happen in these classrooms, bathrooming, snack time, classroom instructional time. When you think of our littlest learners, they're more likely to have the accidents. You need help with dressing, to go outside for a recess, help in the lunchroom. And so it's very difficult for our teachers to be able to provide that help to the students and then also be able to maintain or keep an eye on the other kids that are in the classroom. So this position is gonna be really important for not only the instruction, but also the safety of our students as well.
So they'll sort of float
Correct.
around or whoever needs them.
We'll set a set schedule for them, kind of, maybe give them a walkie-talkie or radio that they carry around, so kind of on call.
We have three classrooms of 4K, right? Or,
We have
or
three
that's this year,
4K.
but what about, next year might change?
Projected for the same, yeah.
Okay, so that
3
person is
4K, 3 5-year-old kindergarten, so
Yeah.
6 classrooms total.
Which she's gonna float between, or he or she's gonna float between 6 classrooms? He'll be busy.
Yes. The next job description is a library media aide position. We are repurposing, currently we have a elementary technology teacher or a position. We are dissolving that position and moving towards a library media aide. So this person would be responsible for helping with book checkouts, checking books in, shelving the books. It'll be shared between the elementary school and up here. It also will allow both libraries to be staffed at all day. So there'll be opposite schedule of what Katie Strutz, our library media specialist, currently has. So we did a lot of work this year with our middle school and high school library, and currently it's not staffed all day. So we've been allowing kids in there. There's been some issues at times that we've been addressing, but this way there's always going to be adult supervision in our libraries. So. And then the last job description is the childcare worker position, and this correlates to obviously the opening of childcare. So you can see the qualifications, the skills, abilities, and the responsibilities for our childcare worker. So this also correlates back to our childcare that we have at the elementary school, and works back to what their responsibilities are. It encompasses both positions. So, any questions about the 3 job descriptions?
No. Okay, then we will move on to action items. I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of March 27th, 2023, the policy and practice committee meeting minutes of April 6th, 2023, the Board of Canvassers meeting minutes of April 11th, 2023, and the special school board meeting minutes of April 11th, 2023, and April 17th, 2023.
So move.
Motion made by Pat, do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave. Chris? You never should have told me that you were related to the other one. Good, thank you. Questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the bills that were in your packet as well as those presented. I don't think we had any new ones presented to us tonight.
So move.
Jennifer and Pat. Questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the childcare worker job description.
I'll move.
Motion made by Chris Schley,
I'll second.
seconded by Chris French. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the library media aid job description.
I'll move.
Motion made by Ann,
A second.
seconded by Jennifer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the 4K kindergarten paraprofessional job description.
I'll move.
Motion made by Lonnie. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Pat. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. I need a motion to approve the $2,500 donation from Sean, is it Gwaley? Gwaley, for Special Education Communication Board.
I so move.
Motion made by Jennifer,
I'll second.
second by Ann. Questions or discussion on that, other than a big thank you?
Somebody will mail that out to him, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the Rural Virtual Academy Agreement.
I'll move.
I'm sorry, who was that? You? Okay, Chris Sly, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Lonnie. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve DI to travel out of state to attend the Global Tournament in Kansas City, Missouri, May 19th to the 24th.
I'll move.
Motion made by Ann, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chris Benish. Questions or discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. I need a motion to approve the child care policy manual.
I so move.
Motion made by Jennifer, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Pat. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the new Neola policies, 6147, 6152.01, 6630, 7100, 7240, 7250, and 7410.
So move.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ann. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the revised Neola policies. 227101, 6108, 6116, 6120, 6144, 6146, 6150, 6151, 6152, 6210, 6220, 6235, 6320, 6325, 6424, 6450, 6470, 6510, 6520, 6605, 6610, 6670, 6700, 6800, 6830, 7217, 7230, 7300, 7310, 7430, and 7434.
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion made by Jennifer, seconded by Ann. All in favor? Opposed, motion carries. And I need an approval for the Neola policies with no changes. 6110, 6111, 6112, 6114, 6230, 6231, 6330, 6423, 6440, 6460, 6620, 6621, 6680, and 7420.
So move.
Motion made by Pat
Second.
and seconded by Chris Benish. All in favor? Opposed, motion carries. We have no modifications. Request for future agenda items.
I don't know if this is the place for it or not, if we'd be changing the agenda, but, in light of the pandemic being officially over, can we remove the approve of any recommendation modifications of COVID mitigation practices from our agenda?
I guess.
I don't know if that needs to be discussed, or if it's
I guess it depends on if it's gonna be part of the handbook. Because if
I don't know.
it's gonna be part of the handbook, I guess.
The employee handbook or?
I mean, that would be I mean, I don't know that we even we're not practicing any right now. So I guess in that respect, that's, we can't do anything about it, as you say, but we could put it on for discussion to taking it off for next meeting, since it's not on the agenda, because yes, we're not practicing anything right now, so. Anything else? Okay, I need a motion to go into executive session under Wisconsin statute 19.85 subsections 1 C, E, F, and I for the purpose of personnel matters, hires, staffing, resignations, contract, and board evaluation. So move.
Second.
So it was Pat and Chris Spanish. Okay, this is a roll call vote. Lonnie?
Yes.
Pam? Yep.
Yes.
And for
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Chris.